Welcome Delhi to Professional Beauty India, and a very, very warm welcome to the Ikonic main stage show. I myself am Bina Punjani, very proud to be associated with Ikonic, the first Indian company to get you professional styling equipments and gadgets to make our work look beautiful.
Thank you very much. Check, check, check. Okay, it's working. So, hello everyone, how are you doing all? All good? Okay, so we are going to now have nice two exciting looks, which is going to be editorial, slightly more high fashion work, which we are going to present by using Ikonic professional tools. So we will see, and I think let's not waste time and get models
let's
to do some fantastic work. Models, please, come.
Yeah, we need some noise. That stage is very loud. This stage needs to be louder, so please make sure you make some noise. Okay, so we have two models here. What I'm going to do today is a very simple look, but we are going to be focusing on an editorial look. Normally, we do a lot of hair ups, and you'll be able to see a look that we've created on our stage previously. What we are doing here is a look that can help you with photo shoots, can help you with stage work, can help you with fashion shows. So it's slightly different, very, very simple, and very easy to do, only if you have the right equipments. What I've done for her is I have taken a ponytail, lower ponytail right at the nape, just to create a little difference between the texture that I'm going to create here and the texture here. This is quite smooth and silky, and this is all going to be very textured. I've just also incorporated a few rope braids to give that little bit of a fun feel. Like I said, its focus is more on a fashion show. Its focus is more on a beauty show. So I'm going to pass on to Vipul.
Thank you. Okay, so you can see my model. What we have done, we have used the crimping machine. Okay? So entire hair, we have done nice crimping. And then you can see tongs. So what we have done, first we have crimped the hair, and after that we have done tongs. किसी ने try किया है ऐसा कभी? Crimping के ऊपर tongs? No, so it is going to be slightly different, right? I'll show you how you have to do it. So you can create nice movement in the hair, and then we will dress the hair. Now my model, she had fine hair, okay? So we wanted to create more volume. So that's the reason what we have done crimping entire hair. And then when you do crimping, what happens? It goes flat, right? There is no life. There is no movement. So that's the reason what we have done. After crimping, then you do tongs. Okay? So first, what I will do, I have just left one section for you guys. I will show you how to do crimping, and after that, how to do tongs on the same section. So when you do crimping, it's very important you take very fine sections. First thing. And the second thing, there are different kind of crimping machines generally you get in the market. But Ikonic Professional has two different kind of crimping machines. Now this is micro crimping plate, where you get very, very fine crimp effect. And there is slightly wider one where you can see from far away also that what kind of the crimping texture you have created. अभी दूर से देखते हो तो कैसा लग रहा है? Does it look like crimp? Yeah, because it's lighter hair. The moment you do it on darker hair, you will not find out, that crimp effect. So the first thing what you have to do is take very fine sections, not very thick, and then we go absolutely close to the scalp, the roots, and then you have to give slightly more pressure to get nice crimp effect. Now the whole idea, as I explained, that you do crimping because we want to do more bigger volume, slightly different texture. And since the look what we are preparing is an editorial, so it is going to be slightly larger than life, but still we will create more beauty for this look. So what is happening, Bina?
So what we're doing here is our main focus right now is I've used a T25 tong of Ikonic. It's quite long, so it's managed to take this entire section together in one go. As you see, I've also used extensions in her hair to create that interesting contrast with her natural color. But be it extensions or natural hair, the tong or your styling equipments really work very well and make sure they don't spoil the texture of the extensions. I think that's very important that the styling equipments take care of that. So I've just used a curling technique with the tong. It's a very, very simple curling technique. But I'd like you to focus on two things with this. One is the back combing, that I'm using this back combing brush. I think it's very important. I'm not using the pintail comb. A pintail comb creates a very, very hard texture, which I've used to put in my extensions. I use the pintail comb to back comb to put in my extensions. But now when I want to create this shape, if I use the pintail comb, you won't get the shape. The roundness, the movement, and the natural feel can come in if you use the bristle brush, yeah? So you just comb it out and then just work to your roots, Don't just go crazy with back combing. Bring everything down at the roots because that's where you want the volume. And I'm blending her natural hair with extensions. And then I'm just pushing it over. And because I've used the curling tong, if you see, technically, it opens up as a nice curl. Okay? And then you just spread it out.
So now, if you can see, the section which I have crimped, I'm using size 19. Do you know there are different sizes of tongs you get in Ikonic Professional? Everybody's aware about it. So there are 5 different kind of sizes. Out of that, I'm using the medium size, which is size 19. Now what you have to do, you take this section, just wind it, then you take the hair this way, and you start turning the tong. And then this hair will come in the center, and then very slowly you come down. Now, it depends, what kind of movement you want to create, what kind of waves or curls you want to create. As per that, you can select the size of the tong. So if I want more tighter, then the size will be smaller. If I want more softer, the size will be bigger, okay? Now, why this kind of technique? And why not simple way, the way you wind it? क्या फर्क होगा? If I do the simple way, the classic way of doing tong, you will not have waves, and when you brush, it becomes frizzy, it becomes more voluminous. When you do this technique, it will be nice waves, and more you will brush, the more better it looks. So it is always easier to achieve something which you want to create more softer movement in the hair, okay? Now, after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to place the volume here. So I want to create more volume on the top. So I'm going to take section and I'm going to place this stuff in. Over to Bina.
So I had done a couple of very thin rope braids on the side. I'm just incorporating that into my mohawk. So it is something that adds a little bit of a variation to the texture and makes the hairdo more interesting. I'm using tiny size U-pins. How many of you use U-pins to do your hairdo? Yeah, it's very important. I think you need to understand when do you use a U-pin and when do you use a bobby pin. Okay? U-pins really secure the hair in a way that you can't see the pins at all, and they give you enough hold. Okay, bobby pins are something that are heavier to use, and you have to use them when the hair is very thick or in a specific instance where your U-pin is not holding the hair. That's the only time you use a bobby pin.
I think it's very important that where to start and when to stop. Right, Bina? Bina?
Yeah?
I'm saying it's very important.
Yeah, it's extremely important. You need to know when to... Actually, it's important to visualize the hairdo. I think there are a few steps that are very important.
Correct.
First, you need to visualize your hairdo. Then you mark out the steps of that hairdo. You feel somewhere you're going to be able to do it, but it's not going to happen. You need to mark out your steps for the hairdo. Bring out the right tools that you're going to need to create that hairdo. So, for example, the right size of the tong, the right size of the crimper, depending on what your vision is. Once you've laid all this out in front of you, your hairdo will come naturally. But if you just start working and then you start picking up things, you're not really sure what to use for what. So it's very important to be systematic, to be able to come to a stage where you can put a hairdo together.
So what I have done, I have taken that section right on the top because I want to create volume there. You do a very nice tight braid. So that's your base, and now here, when I place the stuff in, it is going to be more secure. You can use rubber band if you want, or you can just back home and the braid will not open up. Okay, it's up to you, however you want to do it. Now, Ikonic has a different kind of stuff-ins, the volume which you want to create. You can go and check there, we have Ikonic booth right there. There are different varieties we have. So now, again, I'm going to use a medium-sized stuff-in to create volume on the top. Okay, if I want more bigger, so more bigger stuff-in, or more smaller, then more smaller stuff-in. So I'm going to place it like this. Now it's slightly bigger for me. So if I want to make it smaller, or if I want to create a different mold, what I will do, I will start stitching the stuff in. And create slightly smaller size, okay? And then I'm going to use bigger U-pins to secure my stuff in. And the technique which I'm going to use to fix the stuff in is basically stitching technique. What is stitching technique? The way you stitch clothes, what you do? You take one to another one to the first one, right? Likewise, what I will do, first you put the U-pin on the stuff in, then on the braid, then going back to the stuff in. Okay, so it's going to be nice, secured. But generally, most of the times, how do we use U-pins? Right? Everybody uses like that, and then we say that, "Arey, U-pin to kuch nahi karta hai." वो कुछ नहीं करेगा because it is not secured properly. So what you have to do, you have to do stitching technique. So you take this stuff in and then braid and then going back to the stuff in. Okay, so it is going to be nice, properly locked.
So I also find something that Vipul just said very interesting. Whenever a lot of people put bays, like we've used, if you see, sorry. Okay, so if you see the base he's used, and the base we used to use before was very different. It was, okay, I'll let them finish.
You can hear yourself?
You're
trying, huh?
Yeah. So we used to use a very, very basic stuffing. How many of you have struggled with the old stuffing to put the pins in? Okay, the pins would stick out, the client is in pain, they want to just collapse, they're like, wow, just remove this, okay? By just changing the material and bringing a very, very good quality stuffing, you can actually put the pins in. If you know the technique, the way Vipul showed, you're not going to hurt the client, your shape is going to be much nicer, and you're going to be able to change the shape of the stuffing if you want to. Okay, so also the kind of products you use for your hairdo can then make your hairdo a little bit more expensive, a little bit more prettier, and you will enjoy working as a hairdresser as well. So what I've done right now is I have just sort of, it's simple. I've opened the tongs, I've just done a bit of back combing with this brush, and I've spread it out. I'm also using U-pins now, which is very, very simple because I've already back combed the hair to just put the hair in the right place where I need to put it in the right place.
So that's my base now. What I have done, we have done the braiding. That's your base, and after that you place the stuff in, fix it. Then you take that hair around and just put it on the stuff in. Now the rest of the hair, we will start dressing. Now let's see how.
Does anyone have any questions? Please feel free to ask. We'll be really, really happy to help. And we can clear all your doubts as regards to equipment, regard to technique. Sorry? Oh, it's not that.
Now, when I start dressing the hair, it's very important that I need to understand the hair. कि बाल को किस तरफ जाना है. अगर उस हिसाब से ड्रेस करेंगे तो it will always look beautiful. But if you try to go against the flow of the hair, the natural flow, now for example the hair is going this way, and if I try to dress other way, कभी भी अच्छा ना होता है ना. कभी हम लोग हेयर कट करते हैं, when you cut the fringe and the hair direction is this way, and if you have cut like this, क्या होगा? कितनी बार भी इस तरफ करोगे बाल इस तरफ आ जाएगा ना. We try to use spray also, but still hair will come like this. Why? Because we don't understand the correct natural flow of the hair. So that's the reason it's very important. You have to understand the flow, and then according to that, if you dress it, naturally always it will look beautiful. So now, so just control the flyaways. We're going to use spray. Now, when I use spray, it looks that I'm using too much. But I'm spraying up. So it is very lightly, it is going the hair. And then slowly and steadily you will build up this shine. And also you will control the flyaways. So what I'm doing now, I'm dressing hair naturally the way we have done tongs on the stuff in. close your eyes. Looks like we have Ganpati in professional beauty. Bina, we have Ganpati.
We have everything going on. So also what this hairdo does, we've created it for commercial purposes, but you know, you can actually interpret this as a thicker ponytail for your one of the functions. You know, if someone has very thin hair, the way you can make, and they say, okay, we want a ponytail, but we want it to look thicker, then this is probably one of the ways where you can, you know, secure the hair at the bottom, and the top hair can be given a lot of volume, placed on it, use the right U-pins and the bobby pins, and that's it. You're good to go. Yeah?
So when I do this particular dressing, the moment you take these sections, and after that you have to see that how the hair will look beautiful. According to that, you have to start dressing the hair.
Also, please remember that clients today like the hair to be a little bit more textured. No one wants it like really flat, and no one wants too much of or spray going on. Whenever you're spraying, you make sure you leave the texture in. It's almost like she's done it herself, but it looks expensive. The minute you're doing too much with the hair, you flatten out the cuticle and it doesn't really work. You need to have life in the hair. So for example, crimper is one of the ways that you can do that. The minute you crimp the hair, you've got double the amount of volume. You can also, obviously, Vipul's exposing the crimper, which looks great for a fashion show. But you can actually hide the crimper. You can make the hair really big down and then cover it with a non-crimped section on the top. And your hair will still look really big. You can also crimp the hair and then tong it. If you want your tonging to last much longer, most people have the complaint that tongs don't last, right? So if you crimp the tongs and then you use the tong, if you crimp the sections and then you use the tong to create your curls, trust me, your crimping or your curls are going to last you a very, very long time. So these are a few techniques that you can apply when you do. It's just that you can get a few ideas and then move on with that.
I think the planning is very important, right?
Yeah, planning is extremely important, and your vision of what you exactly want to achieve is very important as well.
Because generally, most of the times in salon, what happens that we keep doing something, we wanted something else, and then you end up doing something else. ऐसा होता है क्या? होता है? Yes?
So this texture as well tends to give you a lot of freedom because it just gives you control. You can just twist and put the head in literally any way you want, and you'll get a lovely shape out of it. Vipul, should I bring the other models in? Should we bring the other models in?
Sorry?
Should we bring the other models in?
Yeah, if you want to explain them that what exactly we have done.
Where are the other models?
Not only logs or herbs to make Rasta.
I've got off this.
Rasta deeper than that.
The last section. So I don't want to create more volume on the side, so I will dress it such a way that it goes nicely flat, but still we'll keep that movement in the hair.
Rasta higher than that. Rasta deeper than that. Not only logs or
So
herbs
how
to
many
make
of you
Rasta.
do use Ikonic? Are you aware about the brand at all? Has anyone used Ikonic? Raise your hands, please. So a lot of people who don't know about Ikonic. Are you all hairdressers? Okay. So if you just move across the experience area of Ikonic that has been created, it's beautiful. It gives you pretty much an idea of what all tools you need in your hairdressing world. So it starts with your stuffing, to your U-pin, to your bobby pin. We're going to have two more models that we've just done on the stage in the morning. We're going to show you the elements that we've used for the model. And then you can understand exactly what goes into creating a hairdo.
Yeah, guys, if you want to see more looks from us, we have a special stage of Ikonic. You can just come over there. We are going to present two more looks today and four more looks tomorrow. Also, you can come and experience a different tools
No, but I'll explain the hairdos till then.
at Ikonic Professional booth.
Sorry?
We have a lot of new stuff also. for this year. So you can just come and have a look, what kind of stuff we have launched. Now, generally, anything you create or anything you design, it is always better you go 2 steps behind, and then you see whether the formation is correct or not. You want to do some changes in that, the balance.
So these are the two models that we've done this morning on the Ikonic stage there. The idea was to create two different looks. One was a very, very clean look, and one was a very textured look. So with a clean look, we worked with one of the largest stuffings that Ikonic has. We've just deconstructed the stuffing, made it into a shape that helps me create this sort of volume through the back. And then I've worked with the T25, the tonging curling iron, to create this movement that has been placed on the top. So we worked with pretty much 4 sections, and we've twisted it, just opened it up and placed it on the big base. It was very, very classic. And just with the front section, again, we've used the T25 and created a nice element of a wave. So this was one of the look. I think Vipul will explain the other one.
And another one, which is more like textured, which is, I think, everybody's favorite, messy bun, right? So what we have done slightly larger than life, slightly more bigger. It's slightly off center, which I think everybody loves it. So it's a very simple technique. What we have done, we have taken 2 ponytails. Before that, you prep the hair really well. You do tongs, the technique which I have done after crimping, the same technique we have used here. After that, you do 2 ponytails. So one is here and one is here. So it's basically slightly off center. And then with your magical fingers, you can just start teasing the hair and you create more volume. And then you just fix it however you want to do a final result. After that, on the top, what we did, we took triangle section. Again, same way, tonging. And then you just dress and you blend it with this and just keep slightly more textured movement in the hair. And then whatever accessories you like, you can just put that. Thank you. So the model is ready, and it is an editorial. You can just take a walk.
You can walk down the stage.
on the door.